dragon head. Apparently it looks like a dragon head. But the important thing to know about that particular bamboo is that it's a clumping bamboo. There are two different types, well there are more than two, but the main two types of rhizome systems in bamboo are your pachymorphic, clumping, non-raining bamboos. So that grows like a head, like a shrub. It grows wider and wider every year, but it doesn't run out and then send up canes and then run out and send up canes and colonize everything. It just stays right there. You treat it just like a shrub. You can prune it just like a shrub. That's very beautiful because you get the benefits of the beauty of bamboo without the worry that it's going to take over everything. I have a joke. I say people are so afraid of bamboo, and it's really just because they don't understand it. They don't understand how it grows. But it's not going to send rhizomes up through your heating and air, ducts and choke you in your bed while you're sleeping. It's a plant. It requires sunlight. It requires nutrients, just like every other plant. And we're as fast as it is, we're faster than it. We can control it. So it can be done, and it can be done simply, and it can be done with less effort than a conventional line of shrubbery. You got to prune it at least once a year. Rhizome pruning takes less time, and you can do it with just shears. This bamboo here is it's a mouthful, the scientific name. Philostachy, or also called spectaculus. This is growing at my bamboo nursery, which is a young nursery. The name of my nursery is Kitsune Bamboo Nursery. And kitsune means fox in Japanese. So this is, from an ornamental perspective, arguably one of the most beautiful bamboos. It does a lot of things. You can see the striping. Your stems are wrapped tightly with a sheath leaf, and it creates that depression called a sulcus. And so, just so happens that it stays green. Is it
edible?
Yes, all bamboo is edible.
So we and the panda,
We what?
they like
They do. They actually eat the leaves. We can actually shoot. Most of you, if you've had Chinese or Japanese food or Taiwanese, any Asian food, they all use bamboo shoots. You've probably eaten bamboo and might not even know it. It takes on the taste of whatever you cook it in. So it's just a texture thing. But incidentally, bamboo shoots are the highest protein count of any vegetable. So if you're vegan, you should be eating some bamboo. And of course, if you grow bamboo, even the running type, the leptomorphic type, the type that you've seen that turned into everywhere ubiquitous, they turn into jungles because no one maintenances them, they look terrible and they're not beautiful because they're just wild and unkept. A kept growth of bamboo is arguably one of the most beautiful plants. I think it's the most beautiful plant there is. It does things that are just amazing. And so, another thing this one does, and I don't see an example in this picture, but the leaves, they'll do cream striations on spectaculus. Another thing it does, it geniculates. Sometimes, for whatever reason, the last few segments as they come out, the last few internodes as they come out of the ground, they curve. So the bamboo will actually curve and then curve back, and you can see geniculations in the cane. It's not really used for much else other than, craft in that case. And this particular variety is not one that's very useful in compared to other bamboos, but all bamboo is useful. And that was one of the first that I planted in my nursery.
Wow.
And there you go. This is just it's really limited to your imagination, bamboo is. This is a bridge made out of bamboo and cordage. Split bamboo, what's that?
The blue and green.
Yeah, that's actual bamboo there's a bamboo that does that. It has blue colors. Yeah. Robert Young, I think is the name of that. I can't remember the exact variety name of it. And that's the thing with bamboo, there's like 1,400 different species. A lot of species have multiple names. A lot of species are named something different, depending on whether there's a lot science does not know about bamboo. Like for instance, Madaki, Philostachy bambusoides, which I grow at my nursery, it's the fastest growing temperate bamboo. And it has actually been recorded, a shoot now, so the shoot emerges from the ground, and 24 hours later, you're talking about a bamboo that's 6 to 7 inches in diameter. 24 hours later, 47.5 inches above ground. You can actually watch you can actually watch this bamboo emerge out of the ground. If you're willing to sit in your garden for 12 hours and watch, you'll see 2 feet of growth. It's amazing, and we don't know how it does it. Like I said, there's a lot. You can take charcoal, bamboo charcoal, and put it in a flashlight that will power it somehow. They're actually using it now in Japan for feedstock, for making energy. They're burning bamboo now in power plants. It's getting ready to come online soon. And in the 70s, early 60s, actually, 60s into the 70s, the U.S. Department of Agriculture did a lot of studying with bamboo. We brought a lot of different species in from all over the world, temperate, anyways, and study it next to loblolly pine for paper production. Bamboo will outcompete loblolly pine for renewability, for the amount of actual biomass that you can cull from a bamboo grove. It's so fast growing, and the thing is, you cut a tree down, that tree's done. I mean, unless you're going to coppice it, if it's the right kind of species, you can coppice it. But for the most part, you cut a tree down, now you got to go another 30 years, let another tree grow before you can harvest it. Bamboo, by harvesting the canes every year, you actually makes the grove more healthy. So it leans itself to our usage. And look at that amazing bridge. And I'm actually learning the culture of bamboo as well, not just the plant, but I've been interning with splitting bamboo using a traditional Japanese blade that I use. And I'm going to learn weaving eventually, but as soon as Keiji, the Japanese they're different, their culture's different. I'm going to learn how to weave when he says I'm ready to learn how to weave. And that's going to be based on the splits that I bring in, and not a second until. Traditionally, interns in Japan will spend an entire year just splitting. Yes, sir?
While you're on bamboo, there are a number of places where it's kind of escaped, if that's what you call it, and folks would like to control it, perhaps remove it.
Sure, I do that.
How would, let's suppose that the grove were as big as we have right here, between us. How do you go about removing that, controlling that?
Controlling or removing?
Eliminate.
Eliminating?
Eliminate.
You got to cut every single cane out of the ground, and it takes 3 years minimum.
3 years. Because
you cut every cane, when you cut every cane down, and I use a handsaw, a Japanese, it's a lot quicker and a lot safer than a chainsaw. A lot of people that use chainsaws, reciprocating saws, a handsaw, it takes, cane's gone. Cane's, this big around. Once you get good at it, it doesn't take long. So you cut every cane out, and then the rhizome system stores a lot of energy. Bamboo puts a lot of energy in the rhizome. And so
what's like kudzu?
Well, it's virile, like kudzu. Kudzu is another one, though, actually. It's medicinal, edible, very useful to man, believe it or not. We don't have the culture for it.
Both of y'all get started on bamboo and kudzu.
Now, hey, I don't even like kudzu. Zev Friedman, one of the guys I trained with for Permaculture in Action, his whole thing was he was born in the kudzu patch. He's crazy about kudzu. I see if a plant is medicinal and edible, and as far as I'm concerned, it's useful.
So it takes 3 years?
3 years, yeah, sorry. When you cut the canes down, it's going to send up more growth.
Yep.
You let it send that growth up. Okay, and it's about, you have to, so in the spring, it'll send shoots up. After you cut all the bamboo out. In the spring, it's going to send shoots up. You let it send those shoots up. Because when you take all the above ground growth, you take the bamboo's ability to photosynthesize away. It can no longer get energy and put it into its rhizome. So that growth that comes up that next spring is coming from the energy that the bamboo had stored in its rhizome. You want to let it use all that energy to put the new growth up. You let that new growth come up, you let it leaf out, cut it down again. Then the next year, you're probably going to have some more growth. But by the 3rd year, it's done. Now another thing you might not know, bamboo doesn't rot. We've actually found bamboo in Japan that was buried, that was in the ground for 1,000 years and didn't rot. 1,000 years. The only way to get rid of it is to burn it or use it. which we're now learning we can do. We can generate power with bamboo, along with a lot of other things. I like to say, and then I'll try to move on. I don't know if there's another bamboo slide or not. I can talk about I can talk about bamboo all night. So I like to say, just to kind of give you an idea how useful bamboo is, you can literally sit in a bamboo house made entirely of bamboo, in a bamboo chair, at a bamboo table, and on a bamboo plate, use bamboo utensils to eat bamboo. Entire cultures can revolve around bamboo and have and do. Just in America, we don't have the culture, which is what I'm learning and what I'm most interested in spreading, because it is such a useful plant. But it's not useful when it takes over everything, because you don't understand how it grows. And that's it. Yeah, no more bamboo. So this is the last principle: creatively use and respond to change. Vision is not seeing things as they are, but as they will be. Things change. We have to design that into our systems. And when things change, that's Murphy showing up, Murphy's Law. I know Joe's familiar with it. You're in the Navy. That law is, if something can go wrong, it will. So when they do go wrong, we creatively respond to them. And, you know, that's mainly what this principle is about. It's the last principle. This is lavender here. That actually, my wife took that photograph in our garden. And I grew that lavender on a hugel bed. One of the things I love to do is take lavender when it's flowered and take some of the petals and smash them in my fingers and smell them. It's such a powerful smell. I have a relationship with lavender as well. And that's it. We're back to the 12 principles and the ethics. So what we've done, we started with the tree. That tree is supposed to represent a person turning into a tree for observe and interact. And we take one problem, whatever it might be. So we're designing your landscape, or just a specific, whatever problem that applies to more than just the green world. It applies to how we organize ourselves. I'll cover that in a little bit. We go around. We've made it around once now. So now we arrive back. We start again at observe and interact.